Welcome to the Commercial Kitchen Chronicles, the podcast dedicated to commercial food equipment repair industry. My name is Pat Finley. I'm a lead master certified technician at General Parts Group and a certified special trainer. Our goal is to shine light on what we believe to be one of the most interesting and rewarding industries a field service technician can work in. We love the work we do, and we are glad you're listening to this podcast. In this episode, we feature young gun Zane Smith. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Commercial Kitchen Chronicles. Tonight, I'm joined by Jason Latimer and Rich Ortega, and we have a very special guest, Zane Smith, on. Zane is a young technician out of Evansville, Indiana, so another Hoosier, so I'm excited for that. But Zane reached out about, coming on the show and talking about his journey into the food service repair industry, so we're excited to have Zane on. And so what's going on, everybody?
I forgot to ask before the show started. Is Adrian streaming?
I don't know. No, he went last night and tomorrow night, so we got to stay on Wednesdays. We can't get in there.
No, that's cool. I just had to make sure because I forgot to check and go live. If you would
go live and jack his audience.
Yep.
That's funny. So Zane, what's going on, man?
Not a lot. I actually just got off work right before I joined the call to you guys.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the way it is, man. I got a 12-hour day today, and I'm here. So.
Yep.
So you want to give everybody a brief introduction? Talk about your age, how you got started in the trade, how young you were when you got in, and what drew your attention to the trades and stuff like that. We'll just go through that real quick.
Yeah. So I'm 23 now. I'm about to be 23. I was probably 16 years old whenever I started in this trade. I was actually working out of a restaurant doing in-house like small maintenance jobs, working on the fryers, like changing filter pads, also working on small reach-ins, keeping the coils clean and changing gaskets, just small and odds and end jobs. So that really drew my attention first, but I was like, I'm a fast food worker, half of this stuff I probably shouldn't be doing. But they were actually doing a good like in-house program where they were able to let us do a lot of the stuff there just because they had trained technicians also on site. Journeyman actually. But I kind of left there and went straight into a heating and air job whenever I turned 17. And I did actually new construction and like residential remodels, commercial remodels and new construction, a bunch of change outs. Most of it was like HVAC install. I did a lot of service then too, but like I said, most of that was residential. And I stuck to that for probably like a year or two. And that's when I decided to fully jump into refrigeration and doing kitchen equipment when I was 18, 19 years old. And I joined this little small company, but they had a lot of customers, Taco Bell's, Wendy's, a lot to do around here. And we were doing pretty much A to Z, the kitchen equipment, the tiles, they had master plumbers, so they had a lot of plumbing stuff we would do. Yeah, it was just endless for that. I had to decide that I really wanted to stick to that kitchen equipment and the refrigeration side of it more, though. So I moved on from there, and now I'm at a newer company.
Nice. That's a lot going on in a short period of time.
Yep. Yeah, it's been almost 7 years doing this, and man, it's like if I count that first jump into it, doing the gaskets and small odds and ends, but it's been exciting almost every single day. It's something new, and it's just so much learning, and I feel like there's so much more to learn. And the company I work for now, they do a lot of industrial and heavy commercial HVAC and refrigeration, so I'm sure at some point I'll get to jump into that too.
Nice. That's a lot going on. That's cool. That's I tell everybody it's a great industry because it can lead to a lot more things, and it's always busy. There's always work to be done. There's always things out there. So it's really cool, and I'm glad to see someone your age in it and enjoying it and wanting to learn more. So
yeah, like I said, I was really excited to jump into it whenever I got the chance to, and as soon as I was able to get in my own van. I mean, I was nervous as hell, like everybody else was, but we all made it as far as we did just by learning and n- knowing that there's more every single day. It's exciting to jump out there and see it all.
Yeah, yeah. Man, that's crazy. 16 years old and 17. Um, when I was that age, I was doing electrical stuff, and I thought I was going to be an electrician, and I did that up to probably 24. Before I started doing this, and I think if I would have started what I'm doing now at that age, where I'd be, it's crazy. So I'm glad you figured it out pretty young and got on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of it wasn't figuring it out as much of as it was like a little bit of a push. I was trying to stay out of trouble too, and you can't get in trouble if you're working all the time.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. Now I definitely stay out of trouble, but you know, it's very exciting. It was really attracting whenever I started doing all the small stuff, and I didn't even think I'd get to do that. I thought I was gonna be flipping burgers.
It just goes to show you there's always opportunities everywhere you go. It just depends on how you apply yourself. So that's cool. So, do you do mainly restaurants, or do you do like schools and grocery stores, or what's your client base mostly?
Yeah, we do a lot of restaurants, schools, hospital. We do a lot of the bigger hospitals around here. So we're actually, we had bought out another company earlier in the year, last year, and uh, they had a part of the school corporation. My company had the other part of the school corporation that just kind of merged together. So we do the entire like school corporation throughout my city. We do a lot of the hospitals and small clinics around here, but a lot of what I do personally is restaurants, just because they know that's what I'm used to.
Sweet.
Got the whole
So,
district, the whole school district.
Yep, so far the whole school district, we're trying to get more, a lot more than that. So I don't live in the city. I actually live outside of city limits, and I'd like to get my school district that I went to school to, just because I think that'd be really neat to go back to my high school.
Especially to some of the old teachers, right? I mean, I don't know if you were in trouble or not, but I had a couple of teachers that told me, I wasn't gonna amount to nothing, and I wouldn't mind maybe throwing a little bit of what I do in their face.
Yeah, yeah, you definitely have some of those. I remember one teacher telling me that, and it's like, okay, well, let's go back and work on this equipment and see what they actually think of you now.
yeah, I have that feeling all the time. Like, oh, you're not gonna be nothing. And, you didn't go to college. You're not going to college. I'm like, if you only knew, because I probably make more than probably 99% of people I went to school with now.
Right?
uh, so that's cool.
Yeah,
So,
but I'm sorry.
oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, yeah, but we do a lot of the school corporations and hospitals. We do a lot of grocery refrigeration too, and
Oh, wow.
industrial. I've been out to a couple factories working here just because another guy was on a different job site working on huge makeup airs and 60-ton, uh, yeah, 60-ton air conditioners and all sorts of stuff. It's pretty neat what there really is out there because you wouldn't think half of this stuff even exists.
Yeah, that big air conditioning stuff always intrigues me. That and chillers and all kinds of stuff. I I don't do it, and the unknown's what intrigues me. Um, I like to challenge myself, and a lot of times, I get working on the same thing over and over and over. It's not a challenge, and then I see that kind of stuff, and I'm like, man, I want to go work on that stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah, it is really interesting whenever I get to like ride along or go along with a different guy, like if we're slow one day, which isn't often. There's so much we do because we do a lot of like southern Indiana and eastern Kentucky.
Nice. So you're driving all over the place, then.
How many trucks do
Hmm.
you guys have on the road to handle municipal? It sounds like the district and the hospital system. You guys
So
must have a large fleet.
So I believe after their buyout, they had around like 40 technicians. And
Okay.
now I think we're down to like 29, 30. And then our install crews, we have 7 or 8 install crews, and they're taking care of like the universities down here and different apartment buildings we're doing. A lot of the piping jobs like VRF systems, they'll have like us do while they hang the units. Just because he really likes how service techs his service techs do their piping.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's something different every single day. I could be on a new construction job running pipe or going to the restaurants to work on a fryer.
Yeah, that
Well
sounds like
rounded, man.
it's a,
That makes you a unicorn, dude. You're priceless, man.
yeah, it's a lot of
Priceless at a
variety
very
there.
young age. Yeah.
I'm just trying to retire.
That's awesome.
That's funny. So, you got any particular brands or pieces of equipment that you prefer or you really enjoy working on over the other? Don't throw no shade at nobody, but if there's something you really excel at or you really enjoy working at, is there something along those lines?
Yeah, I got a few things I really enjoy working on. I really like henny pennies if I'm working on fryers the
These
most.
southern
that was
guys,
coming.
these southern guys, man.
I just knew that was coming.
I love henny pennies.
Henny
I see
Penny's the
them
bomb.
all over the place.
I love Henny Penny too.
Yeah, they're great. They're just super friendly user and technician, honestly.
I'm a Fry Master
All
Pitco
day.
guy.
Really.
Just what I work on all the time. And
Yeah.
people like to badmouth equipment. I'm like, well, you don't work on it all the time, probably. So you don't understand how it works. If I was going to work on a henny penny, I'd hate life. I'd be like, I don't know how this works. I don't know how to do this. I mean, the first time I seen a selective valve, I was like, what is this thing? I'm like, I don't want to touch this.
It's easy is what it is.
Mhm.
Says the guy that works on them all the time.
I mean, and their tech support's the bomb. I mean, when you can text message tech support, it
Mhm.
doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah.
That is really cool.
Yeah, because Henny Penny works for and is owned by Henny Penny. So I'll
Mhm.
just say that.
No, they're great. They definitely do a great job of making their fryers. If I'm working on ice machines, I really like Hoshizaki brand.
Yep.
Yeah, they're awesome. I was actually working on a Hoshizaki today, a flaker machine, and all I had to do was clean off the sensor. Yeah.
Yep.
There's
99% of Hoshizaki is it's dirty, and that's it.
I was gonna say I listened to your the podcast the other day where you'd said it's a bin switch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Some guy had called you and immediately it's a bin switch.
Yep.
I mean, the Hoshi,
That's
though, I
awesome.
mean, those plates, you can clean them with, the most aggressive stuff and just knock that lime scale off there pretty fast. And
Mhm.
that Hoshi cleaner does some gnarly stuff, dude. It'll clean anything fast. So as long as the plates stay together, they're great.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the
Aside from
only.
that, yeah. Aside from that, Hoshi's the Henny Penny of, yeah.
I mean, everyone has
It's
problems.
the
I
Henny
mean,
Penny of ice machines.
so I got a question from Lee here. He wants to know, what do you see for combi ovens down there, and what do you like to work on?
So for combi ovens, I feel like we see a lot of the. Honestly, I don't work on them a lot, but I feel like mostly rational or rationale.
I know our guys in Southern Indiana, they see a lot of Electrolux and a lot of combo therm, it seems like. So
Oh, really?
I wasn't sure. Yeah. So, I mean,
one thing I want to know is it rationale or rational?
That's
When
what
you
I
call
was.
them, the recording says rational. So I'm like, I always thought it was rationale. Does anybody know what it's supposed to be?
I think those are the same words, but it's hello and hello.
Yeah.
Well, I was going around saying Unox ovens, and then I hear Pat going, "Yeah, Unox," and I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Unox."
Well,
what is that?
I say we start a TikTok video tomorrow. And we get to the bottom of it.
Right.
We'll tag rationale into it, see if they reply.
That's funny. But no, I don't work on a whole lot of combi ovens, but if we do, then it's a lot of rationale.
I live on combi ovens. There's days I hate them. There's days I don't want to touch them. I get stuck on them all the time. Not stuck as in I get hung up, but like I just work on a bunch of them and go through a period where I just don't want to touch them anymore.
Yeah.
The thing I like about combi ovens is that they look way worse than they are to work on. They're actually pretty simple. But
They're
when you take a
intimidating.
panel off of one of them, you're like, what the hell did I walk into?
Yeah. I don't know a whole lot about them. Yeah. I don't know a whole lot about them, but it's definitely something I want to learn more. There's still, like I said, a lot. So much I want to learn.
Just keep grinding, man. You'll get there. Then there's days when I've been doing this 18 years and I still run the stuff I haven't seen. So
There's so many different brands and different things they even call something.
yeah, you open up the side panel rationale and you can get lost pretty fast, man. There's a lot of stuff in there, especially if it's a gas unit. There's a lot of stuff in there.
Really?
Yeah, it's not bad. Just takes a little bit of training and some patience, and I don't have a whole lot of patience most days. Do I, Jason?
Right.
No, you don't. But I got you, bro. I got you.
Here lately, it's been a spur of fryers and ice machines. I feel like it's like every other call. It's like ice machine fryer, and then walk-in every now and then. The other day, it kind of surprised me. I had like a slushy machine in the middle of it, and I was like, "Where did this come from?"
Like, why am I working on this?
Yeah,
That's my thoughts when the slushing machine comes in. I'm
yeah.
like, please give this to somebody else.
Yeah, I had
I
a
don't
slushie
mind
machine the
them.
other week. I was the same way.
Yeah. Do you guys work on any of the like Taylor stuff or anything? Or is everybody like no to that?
We refuse Taylor.
Okay.
I don't work on
Yeah.
it anymore.
We really don't.
I got you.
Yeah, I used
Most
to be-
places
I used to be a
don't.
Taylor guy. My company used to own a franchise of McDonald's, so we were like certified to do warranty and everything. So for the most part, but we went away from that. So it's been about a year since I've touched them. But prior to the year ago, I was on them every day for about 7 years. Whether it was the OJ machine, the ice cream machine, or the clamshell.
Nice.
I tried to get into those clamshells because we had a customer like where I used to work, and a bunch of Wendy's use them too. Those Taylor clamshells. They're starting to switch them over to the Garlands, like you're seeing more often than McDonald's.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the Garland at Wendy's is really neat. It does a lot of cool stuff, but Wendy's has a bad habit of hosing everything down, and that unit does not like it.
Really,
Yeah, yeah. So
man.
we'll see.
A lot of them in this area are just Taylor still, like the Taylor clamshells at the Wendy's. That's what I see more than anything.
Are your Wendy's down there franchise?
I'm sorry.
So what's this? Sorry.
Go ahead, Jason.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was going to ask this gentleman, what's a Sandy serve? Because I've never heard of a clamshell Sandy serve.
It's
That's
a
the ice cream machine. Soft serve.
Oh, he was referring to ice cream. Okay, I'm sorry.
Nope. I've never. Man, I'll be honest. One thing I never got into was ice cream machines, so I have no idea.
I like ice cream and like slushy. We did a chain of like Mexican restaurants down here for the longest time, and all of them have like 6 to 8 margarita machines line the bar, and they're Taylor machines, the RD like 30 or 25, and they have a split condenser up on the roof. So you'd be going up there, and there's like 6, 8 condensers next to each other. You're like, which one am I working on? And they're all short cycling, like on and off, because they're slushy machines. They're just running and running and running.
Yeah, for the ice cream machines, I'm used to working on the Taylor, the Carpigiani, and the Stolting.
I was gonna say,
yeah,
Stolting's really nice. Yeah,
the Stolting that's the Hoshizaki Henny Penny of the machine for me.
It is. And their tech support's the bomb too.
Oh yeah, the white glove service. Yo, they'll walk you through anything. I learned quite a bit. I mean, they pretty much taught me the whole machine in 6 months, and I was just like, cool.
And I swear to God, the guy that answers the phone there knows everything off the top of his head because he's never told me to hold on or anything. I'm like, yeah, it's this serial number. He's like, okay, yeah, this, that, the other. I'm like, holy crap, bro.
So I tell customers, I'm like, hey, there's a phone number on the side. Call the white glove. Call them. They'll walk you through everything as an operator. And by the time they call us or you call us, they'll actually have a part suggestion that we'll bring with us, and it's almost a first-time fix every time.
Damn, that's impressive.
That's
Like that. Yeah, they'll go through all the settings and everything with them. They'll get them pretty far.
Yeah, I've never worked on that kind of stuff. And I used to do some I think it was like Frosty Factory or something, some margarita machines that were at it used to be Cheeseburger Paradise, and they were remote condensed, and that was the only place I ever worked on them. And it was always the same thing. They just got lazy with the mix, and they dump it everywhere, and the motor's on the switch where it rocks, and that's how you set your consistency with the spring and the tension, and they just sloshed that margarita mix around everywhere, and it just jacked everything up. So.
Mhm.
So I don't have very much experience with them, but I do watch. Refractometer, or is that what it is?
Yeah.
Refractometer.
Get your bricks right.
I do watch Rick Durmeyer, HVACR Survival, and he does like some stolding stuff. He does like I don't know if it's a Dairy Queen or what, but he does some stolding videos, and I was always pretty intrigued by the stuff he works on. So
Joseph does that too, or Joe Sharp. He does a lot of those soft serve also.
Oh yeah, that's where he lost the finger tip.
What did he put his hand in a pulley?
Well, he had it turned off but not unplugged, and the lady bumped it, and it came on and got his finger. And
Oh,
yeah,
that's
so,
crazy. I feel
unplug
like
the unit.
I'm sorry.
No, I just said always unplug it.
Yep.
I mean,
Hit.
I get we can't always do that, but we got to be safe. I mean, and if you're going to do something live, make sure you tell the customer to don't touch it or whatever. I mean, accidents do happen. And I'm sure the lady was probably freaking out and probably heartbroken she did that. So
it's kind of like motorcycles in Florida. It's not you, it's them when it comes to lockout, tag out, but we have to work on things live, and unfortunately, those sort of things happen. It's unfortunate.
At one of the companies I had worked at, one guy was working on a 3-phase electric fryer, and he had the breaker off, and one of the managers went back and flipped it while his hand was next to the contactor. Yeah.
Ooh.
And it made a big arc flash. He was fine, but he kind of got real shooken up after that. After I heard about it, I carry my lockout tag out like mini kit in my bag.
mine hangs on my side of my video, and then I keep a couple like breaker lockouts inside there. But the problem is our breaker lockouts don't fit half the breakers we have. So
exactly.
I take my kit into every job too.
That arc flash is probably the
my
best case
kit on me.
scenario.
Yeah,
Is that for the record, Rich? Is that for the record?
For the record, I never work on live equipment.
That's funny. Yeah, especially if it's 480, man. 480 will do some crazy stuff, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We see a lot of that down here.
Rural, I can't ever say that word. Rural areas always tend to have 480, it seems like.
You go to even our mall, like our smallest mall we have, and it's 480. I went to a mattress outlet the other day. Or yeah, it was a mattress outlet, and they had 480 volt, and it was a small building. It made no sense to have that much power in that.
That's wild because I mean they're having two different transformers. I mean you got 480 277 and you got the 120. That's wild.
See,
I don't know what they're powering.
Moving up here from Florida, because like it seems like almost everything here is 3-phase, and like I didn't run into a whole lot of 3-phase in Florida, at least in the area I was in. But like I'll pull out an under counter dishwasher here, and that sucker's 3-phase too, and that tripped me out for the longest time.
A lot going on.
Do you do dishwasher work, Zane?
A little bit. I know small, like simple, like the AM14s or whatever. I know, yeah, the small Hobarts, like style like that. Very simple. Has a spring that holds the counterbalance in the door.
And the brakes, and then you got to try to climb behind there fixing that thing. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I had to do that here recently, and it was terrible. I tried to put the old spring back on because I didn't see what had happened. It had decompressed itself and bent the other side of the hook. so that as soon as you put it on and pushed it down, it would fly. Well, I had done that, and I pushed the door down, and my head was like right here. Whoop! There goes the spring. I was like, "Yep, next time I'll do this, I'm wearing a hard hat."
Face mask, hard hat.
Yeah, yeah.
Greg brings up a
you
good
can take
point.
the front cover off to work on it for the most part. Take the front off and
Mm-hmm.
whatnot. That's great that you work on. That's pretty well rounded, my friend. Pretty well rounded. I like that.
I'm
Yeah, it
trying to
really is.
get as much learning in as possible. I have someone I have to call every now and then, but I feel like we all do.
Oh yeah.
There's days I
Unless
call
you're the
people.
guy. I was about to say, unless you're the guy that gets called.
Most of the time I get called, but there's days I have to call. So I'm not gonna lie and say I'm perfect and I know it all, man. I always tell everybody I'm really good at finding the information.
Yeah, that's what I say too. I mean, I got one guy that I call. Used to have two guys, but the supervisor retired back in December. But yeah, we all gotta call people every now and then. The important thing is to do it though. You know what I mean? Because I work with guys that don't get crap right, and it's like there's at least four of us you could have called, and we could have told you how to get to the right answer, but they'd rather change 15 different parts instead of just being like, "Hey guys, what am I doing wrong? What am I missing? What do I need to look at?" The way you get better is by calling those people.
Mm-hmm.
I call retired guys, and to be honest, they were happy at first to be retired, but they like those phone calls now. They're like, "Yeah, sure, I'll help you."
My buddy Greg, he went part time. So he turned his van in this week. So like if we need him, if he has to go up with like a young guy or a trainee, he has to go pick him up. And but like he's going bored. He's bored out of his mind, man. He is absolutely losing it. He's on vacation this week. He was sending me pictures of Blue Moon beer with a big chunk of orange floating in it. But yeah, he's losing his mind, man. So I mean, I just call him just to like shoot the crap most of the time, just to see what he's up to. But if he works 8 hours a week, it's a busy week for him.
Hey,
We're all trying to get there.
Right.
That's when you need a wife, an old lady that makes all the money.
That's what I'm working on right now.
That's funny. So, is there anything that you're wanting to learn that something you see now that maybe you've worked on a couple times that really strikes your interest, that you really want to learn that piece of equipment or along those lines?
Yeah, going back to like the ice cream and the dish machines, honestly, a lot of what we see around here, like how you guys say you see more stolting or you really like working on stolting, I really enjoy working on the electro freeze. That's what we have in a lot of like the Dairy Queens, and you see more Sandy serve, I feel like, and electro freeze down here than anything. But yeah, that dish machines, I really want to learn more combi ovens too. I'd be just for the simple fact that they're everywhere now.
Yeah,
Like
they're going in everywhere. If there ain't one, there's going to be one soon in a place. So, and there's a million manufacturers anymore. It seems like
They got one called Spaceman.
Yeah,
I've heard of
seen
that.
one of them.
I've heard of that like overseas or something.
no, they're
they're
over
here.
here.
They're here.
Are they?
Mm-hmm. They're called like Spaceman USA.
Yeah, I got one
They
in
seem
my
pretty cool.
in our test kitchen. Yeah.
I haven't seen the machines, but I've talked with the guy who runs the place or owns the place or whatever. They seem pretty legit.
We've got a TOSA in our warehouse. So their chef that's over like their whole combi program is based out of Indianapolis, and he's used us for years. So he actually all the TOSA promo videos are shot with the combi, and he's in front of it. It's actually shot in my warehouse in our test kitchen.
Which
So,
a TOSA's more low end, right? Even for their combi.
They're more like direct to consumer. So they cut out like all the when you buy a piece of
Dealers and
equipment,
stuff.
you get the manufacturer, you have like the rep, then you have the salespeople. It's like 4 or 5 people before you can buy that. They're pretty much like a direct to consumer thing. So they cut out a lot of the middleman, the extra stuff. So I think that's why their prices are actually lower than most people. But I didn't get to play around with it a lot. But he had some minor stuff he was fixing on it, and he could fix it. It didn't seem too bad. So we'll see.
Nice.
I hadn't seen a lot of those spaceman machines. I've probably like one around here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna Google it now. You got me interested. Spaceman
Yeah.
combi, huh?
No, Spaceman soft serve machines.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
soft
ice
serve.
cream.
Well, you
Yeah.
notice all the so we have a few different yogurt places here where you look on the wall and they got like 5 or 6 different options with 2 different flavors, and they have the little, they put the toppings. But now I'm noticing in every other gas station there's a wall of those same Stoltings. Most of them are Stoltings, is what I've seen, but they're at like every gas station. So that's been a trend that's been getting more and more. Before we'd have to go to a froyo shop when froyo was popular. But
Are you
Now
hanging
you
out
go
at
to-
racetracks?
I was gonna say now you go to a racetrack and
Dude.
that's where you get your froyo.
So they built a race.
that's where they got it from, was some of the froyo shops, and now it's more popular to go there. But
Dude,
that has doing more Stolting because of it.
they built a racetrack here, and they're actually building 2 more. Like one of them just opened up, and I am in that thing like 3 times a week working on stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like
Oh, really?
there's all kinds of stuff in there. That's the place where I was in there on a Sunday. So it's 3 low profile evaporator and that big giant beverage, their big giant cooler, walking, keep all the drinks in.
Beer
Calling
cave.
that. Yeah. Well, it's not a beer cave in Indiana because they're not allowed to sell beer like that here. So it's all just pop here.
So you gotta move to Florida, bro.
And I believe you mean soda.
Soda, pop, whatever you want to call it.
Soda.
Pop?
He said
Is that
pop.
what the North? Is that what the North calls it? Like of Indiana is pop.
I've always
'cause
just called it pop. I mean,
I don't know
guess-
anybody.
And for the
We're
Spanish
done,
folk,
Pat.
it's
We're
Pepsi.
done.
Ain't that right, Jay? For the Spanish folk, it's Pepsi.
Yeah, Pepsi, man. Pepsi.
Pepsi.
I get beat up on my own show. Even the guests beat up on me. It's freaking terrible.
No, I was just curious. I just don't know anybody else that calls it that.
I just always call it that. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm not one to judge, but there's few and far between weirdos that say pop, and every person that says pop is always an interesting person, but I'll always drink with them.
But those racetracks have 4 Stoltings, and they're water cooled. They're stuck
Yep.
through the wall right outside their kitchen, and I seen them in there, and I went around the back sides, and they were water cooled. It was pretty cool. I'm
That's
not
the
working
biggest
on it.
waste of water. Biggest waste of water, just running down a drain.
This had I don't know if this one was on a loop or not because it had a return line. They weren't going down a drain,
Oh, okay, so they just have a chiller up on the roof.
so it must have a chiller somewhere. Yeah, I
A
imagine.
lot of them are just
Yeah.
out. But
I've seen a lot of places like that. That's how they do their water cooled. It's just dumping, and I'm like, that's insanity. I can't figure that out for the life of me.
it's a Florida. Is it just a Florida thing or up there too?
Yeah, I think it's a Florida thing. I haven't seen it up here. I think it's
I've got a
We
lot
do
of-
what we want.
I've got a lot of rural schools, and they have there'll be 480 volt conditioning units, and they'll be liquid cool. They'll be water cooled, and they just dump it down the drain, dude. And it's a walk-in freezer, and this thing's running like 18 hours a day. It's just water just going straight down the drain. The guy's like, I can't keep my softener. I'm like, I wonder why.
Right. So
Like,
I've
why
seen
do
a lot of the buildings that look like an ice cream cone. It's a Twisty Treat here, but it used to be
Twisty Treat.
called something else. Twisty Treat, but it used to be called Frosty. But I think they bought them all, and a lot of those just pour right out the drain. And I'm just like, whoa, the water bill's got to be crazy here. Just crazy.
Yeah, that used to trip me out because Florida water is expensive too, boy. It ain't cheap to run water down there.
Yeah, and it's all hard water and all that jazz, It's all that lime.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, we don't probably see that much. I don't know any water cooled stuff that I've seen around like southern Indiana. Most of it, if it is water cooled, it's off of a chiller around
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, it's few and far between to actually dump it down the drain around here anymore. Just like a lot of
Yeah.
the old rural schools and the school I dealt with all the time. They actually just changed all the equipment out a couple of years ago, and it's all now outdoor conditioning units. And so they quit doing it. They were just going to put indoor conditioning units in that room, and I'm like, whoa. I was like, you guys might want to rethink that. I was like, that's a lot of heat you're going to start throwing in this janitor's room, and they're not going to be happy, and these units are going to run like crap. So-
Jeez.
Yeah, I was like, they didn't know. He's like, it's just they were trying to be cheap, just put it back in the same room, close line sets and everything. I'm like, no, you can't do that, guys.
Yeah, not happening.
That's not how thermodynamics work, buddy. Yeah.
He was gonna put them on the roof, and I looked like I got to put them outside by the dock, like where the chiller is. So they're not too bad to service now.
So, how far do you guys go, like your service area? That's really a question I have for all of you guys.
I'll start. So we're in Tampa. We're mainly in the Tampa. We're stationed or centralized in the Tampa area. We'll go up to Jacksonville, pretty much most of the state from mid central all the way up.
Okay.
So we're not down in the Miami area or in the Southwest Florida area for the most part, but Tampa, Orlando, the East Coast, up to Jacksonville, across to the West Side into Tallahassee and back.
Yeah. So Whaley that I work for is, they're all over, but like my branch is mostly the upstate of South Carolina, so like Greenville area. We got some guys that are just in North Carolina, and then we also run down to parts of Georgia. I mean, overall, like from our shop, we can head a couple hours in either direction. I mostly stay close to the shop now because of where I live, but before, when I first started, they were sending me everywhere, and I was like, I'm cool with that. They were apologizing because they would send me an hour and a half, 2 hours away, and I'm like, I get paid the same whether I'm driving, whether I'm getting dirty. I'm good with it. Send me wherever you want.
Yeah.
That's my thing, dude. I make as much money sitting on my butt, listening to a podcast, just listening to music, cruising, as I do fixing something. I'm like, you guys are gonna cry. I was like, dude, I'll drive 5 hours to a call if you want. I mean, most of my time, the furthest I drive is 2 hours generally, maybe 2.5. But I cover a huge part of central Indiana from east to west. It's a big territory, but a lot of times I'll get asked by a manufacturer to go into other markets. I've gone down to Kentucky several times. That's not my market. We actually have a branch down there, and I've gone down there several times for like Garland and Frymaster to do some projects for them. And dude, I'll go wherever, man. You tell me you want me to go to Florida for the weekend work, I'll load the van up right now and head that way. I mean, it just is what it is.
I work with guys that'll complain about that. Man, they got me driving an hour away. I'm like, shut up. I'm like, first of all, I'm from Florida. We always drive an hour away. I'm like, but second of all, you getting paid the same. Like I told them when they were apologizing to me, I'm like, the day you tell me I get paid less to travel is the day that we got something to talk about. Like, until then, you want me to drive cross country? I'm good with that too.
Yeah.
So let me ask this. So I was having a conversation the other day, and Pat, you were brought up because I was thinking about how much windshield time you put on, but it's like our efficiency, the less windshield time, the better the efficiency. And I can't imagine that could be the same thing for an area where everything is so spread out. The calculation and the metrics have to be different. Where you're in a city and the call is corner to corner. I mean, you could do like 12 calls in a day if you're if you're in the middle of the city, but then you could put out 3 to 5 if you have an hour, 2-3 hours of windshield time in one way or combined. So, I mean, it's probably a metrics and a math thing, but I'm always thinking like, how does the efficiency work for areas like yours?
We charge hourly rate to drive there. So I get, if it's outside of 465 or Indianapolis proper, they pay, whatever it is to get there. So, well, actually,
so it's understood.
Yeah. It's actually, they route it from our shop. So we got in trouble. We didn't get in trouble. We caught some crap over this for a while back. My buddy Dave, he was your HVACR. You met him at AHR and stuff. He works for a guy that owns a bunch of Wendy's, and there's one like 5 minutes from my house. Well, we went there and it ended up being not warranty, but it's 5 minutes from my house. It was my first call of the day. Well, they billed him an hour and 15 from my shop to there and then back. But the lady that caught the bill knew that I lived 5 minutes away, and it was like, and all hell broke loose.
Yeah, that's how we build our travel too. It's round trip from our shop.
Outside of like proper area.
That's normal.
Yeah, well, our whole service area is round trip from our shop. So even guys that are working an hour and a half away are charging 2.5, 3 hours, travel time. But to Jason's question, the efficiency too, I think depends on the technician a lot because for me, if I get sent out of my service area, if they send me an hour and a half away, when I'm done with the call they put me on, first thing I do is call the office and say, what else do y'all have here? Or what else do you have on my way back? A lot of guys will drive that, do the call and then go back, another hour and a half to their area. And I'm like, nah, y'all done sent me this way. I need to get at least 2 or 3 calls done on my way back to where I'm going.
Yep. Give me calls in the area or give me calls on the way back. Yep. I
Yep.
agree 100%.
I've always done that. I thought that was normal. Like, I mean, that's who wants to drive all the way back just to be possibly set back? I mean, I always say, hey, is there anything in the area while I'm here?
Come work at my branch for a week.
Oh,
Dude, we have, and I'm not
fired.
trying to crap talk my branch, but I don't really care. So like they'll throw our schedule on us, but we can usually run it however we want. So like y'all, I'll run my schedule the most efficient way. There's guys that'll be like at a call, and then their next call say is an hour and a half away, but their third call is 15 minutes from where they're at. Instead of knocking out, the first 2 calls that are close and then running that far call, or vice versa, running that far call, then coming back, running the other 2, they'll run the one, they'll drive 90 minutes away, they'll run that call, then they'll drive 90 minutes back. And if they got time, they'll do that third call, or they'll say, well, it's 4:30 and I'm about to run into overtime. See y'all tomorrow, and then bounce.
Yeah, but they're the same guys that blame the office when, they seen it, they knew it, but they didn't bother. Like, oh, screw it. That's what they did. I'll just take advantage of it. I mean,
that's exactly what they do.
So I gave some RLS classes in the last, 3 classes to some new hires, and I was breaking down for the new. I say to them, for the newer techs, follow that board because dispatch is putting them in some kind of order. For the seasoned techs, how long it takes you to do work. What's an emergency. I also caution there might be a chance that you were so busy that calls were put over where we promised a customer that might not have had a really critical call that they were the next call the next morning. So communicate with your dispatcher, communicate with the office. Sometimes there is a rhyme to the reason, to the madness. But for a seasoned tech, I do my own board. I send myself way out, and I work my way back unless something changes. So and I show them how to make those changes. But I make that explanation that once you get seasoned, you'll know what to do. But if you're new, just communicate with them and follow what your board says and ask them, why is this call that's not so critical first before something that looks more critical.
And my old supervisor, because he used to do the dispatching also, if there was something that came in that you had to do next, he would usually call you and say, hey, listen, I added this to your schedule and it's got to be done next, which plays a big part in it also, because if you just start adding things to my schedule and I already got it mapped out, if I don't know this one needs to be next, I'm still going to do what I think is the best route. So communication from the office plays a big part in that too.
Absolutely.
So would you guys rather go further out in the morning and work your way back home, or would you rather start close and work your way? I'd rather, because I'm up early and traffic's lighter, I'd rather get further away and then work my way back home.
For me, it depends how I feel. I think more often than not, I like the opposite. Because I like the long drive back at the end of the day. Like, it helps me unwind and all that crap.
You think, and you can clear your mind. Yeah, I can see that too.
Weirdo.
I will tell you, if I have less than a 30-minute drive home, I wouldn't know what to do with myself. So,
well, let's digress. Let's go back to Zane.
Well, I'm the same as Pat. If I can just go the furthest away in the morning and come right back on my way, that'd be the best way to do it. Unfortunately, it ain't always like that, and I'm usually 2-3 hours away from where I actually live, and sometimes you just lose track of time. I got laundry listed at Cheddar's the other day, and I was like 3 hours away. Yeah, I had like a reach in, they're walking, like a grill, their fryer, a bunch of other stuff too. And man, I just lost track of time. And by the time you're getting ready to leave, if it's 5-6 o'clock, you're not actually getting home till like 7, 8, 9.
So tell me you're single without saying you're single. So Zane, on average, how many calls? So it sounds like you're just rocking out 12 hours, 13 hours a day here. On average, how many calls do you complete? Or even if you have to put them in continued.
So I try to complete at least 3 calls a day, but here lately I've been doing like 5-6 calls a day because they've been closer together. Usually I'll have that 2-hour drive or 3-hour drive. Here lately, it's been pretty like local. So I mean, I'm able to just go pretty quick, like you were saying earlier, go between calls because they're like corner to corner almost.
Yeah.
What's
But
your branch's average call per day? Do you have any idea, or what do you think other guys run on an average
oh,
day?
I have no idea, honestly. I haven't been with my company for like not even a year yet here. Um, yeah, it's been almost a year. So I'm not completely sure of what everybody else's average is. From what I hear from other techs, they're running like 4 to 5 calls a day usually, but it depends on if they're driving or not, or if some of them are in installs.
Is your
So, do
company
you have any
based?
ambition? Sorry,
Uh,
go ahead.
Huh?
Oh, I was just going to ask if your company is based out of Louisville or where is it based out of?
We're based out of Evansville.
Oh, okay. And you go to
Yeah.
Eastern Kentucky?
Or Western Kentucky.
Oh,
No,
okay.
not
I
Eastern.
was about to say, holy
Yeah,
smokes, that's a
like
long drive.
Northwestern.
Okay.
The furthest I've probably been is like down by like Murray, but I know
Okay.
we'll go further than that. I have a Kentucky like journeyman's license.
At 22 years old, that's nuts.
hmm Yeah, I have so Vanderburgh County, which is Evansville County, they require a journeyman's license. I don't know if like up where you're at has a certain area where they do, but they make us take a test, even though everywhere else is a free for all. So I have a Vanderburgh County journeyman's, and then I have the state of Kentucky's HVAC journeyman's.
Nice, nice.
Nice.
So what were you going to say, Jason?
Yeah. Do you have any ambition to maybe own your business someday?
Honestly, that would be the hope. I just want to learn it all just so I could get a feel for what I'd like to do the most, and probably one of these days figure out where I want to go with my career, because I know right now I'm not going to be out in the field 20, 30 years from now. At least I'm going to try not to be. I did install whenever I first started doing this, and most of that was construction. I realized really early that I didn't want to be slinging duct and whole running furnaces with another guy every single day, just because the amount it puts on your body. It was good to have that experience and actually put in a unit and duct work and learn actually how to size it and everything. Uh, just before I actually started working on it, because that made it a lot more easier to get that introduction into HVAC.
Nice, nice. That's cool.
Nice.
Hmm.
Yeah, everyone has their own little, what they want to do in life and goals. It seems like, you just want to learn as much as possible right now and focus on that. And I commend you for that. So what kind of classes have you taken? Just manufacturer training or just all on the job?
A lot of it's on the job, honestly. So that mom and pop company, like I've been to some Manitowoc classes, and one of the, I don't remember if it, no, it wasn't a Fry Master class. I've probably just been in the Manitowoc classes. I know I have been to a few of those. But here recently, I've been trying to get my company into doing more, like if they are doing more Garland classes anytime soon, or Fry Masters, because we do a lot of the McDonald's chains around here too. So know they have like the certificate you have to do for them, the certification.
Oh yeah, for the yearly certification for McDonald's.
hmm
There's a PM program for Wendy's and Chick-fil-A's as well, but most of the Wendy's are franchise and they're not doing it.
Oh, really?
The problem is though, if they do the PM program, they get a 5-year warranty, but they won't do the PM program. I'm like, man, you guys are just throwing money away, but whatever.
Yeah, throwing it down the drain. That's insane. Because they're doing that PM program to make sure that the unit stays in top shape.
Yeah, so the PM program at Wendy's is pretty much like McDonald's. I mean, you're you're changing the seals, you're cleaning everything up, you're performing a thermocouple test, so you check your temperatures, you're doing a gap calibration, that kind of stuff. So it's pretty much the same processes. But it gives you that 5-year warranty. But I haven't seen anybody do it, so we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about those grills, but like I said, I'd really like to take a class for those.
Oh, dude, I love them, man. I used to teach a level 2 class, and Dude, I love Garland grills. I haven't done a whole lot of them here lately, but I could work on those things all day long just because it seems like it's always something different that's wrong with them. And
And
it's a
if you got the
challenge.
patience, they got a lot of YouTube videos on them, like Garland
Yes.
themselves does that
Yes.
you can look up.
Yeah, they're
I had
really
to
good.
watch a
Well
couple
built's
of them.
pretty good. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying I had to watch a couple of them because I had to be, I don't know, certified or something. I mean, I put them on 2x speed and got to the end, but
Well built is pretty good about uploading videos about that, like
they really are.
their Fry Master division, Garland, like you were saying. I know Henny Penny also posts a lot of videos on their own too. They're awesome about
Do
that.
they? I haven't looked into Henny Penny.
Yeah, they have a lot of video. Like they'll tell you most of the errors on YouTube.
Nice.
They'll tell you how to
They'll give you a
calibrate one
chance.
of
They'll
their.
just take care of you.
Yeah, they'll
I
tell
mean,
you
they
how
are
to
the Henny Penny
calibrate.
of fryers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
You know,
a
sometimes when
Cadillac.
you call something, like a human will pick up.
That's great.
All right, enough joshing.
So is there one thing? Wait, okay. Are you guys a Sefesa company by chance? Do you guys know do you know what Sefesa is?
Yeah, we are.
You are? Okay.
Mhm.
That's cool. So there's a lot of training opportunities through Sefesa. They do some like product lines. They'll do like a combi class. They'll do an ice machine class. Plus they have their training they do. So that may be something you could look at to get into. Just to throw a bonus Sefesa there.
Okay. Well, I appreciate the heads up about that. I will definitely look into that.
You can just get
I
on their
need to.
website and look at education, and it's all broke down on there. But they offer a lot of
Okay.
different stuff. So
I will
Yeah.
say, if you guys don't have like I don't know if they require you guys to get the Kentucky license, like journeyman's license up there, but they do like continuing ed every year that you have to keep for your license. Yeah, you have to do like a class or something. Manitowoc sometimes will offer continuing ed. I don't know if it's Manitowoc or not, but somebody does. A lot of the supply houses will do like their Fujitsu classes or whatever for continuing ed.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Are you
No,
Sorry, I'm paying
You
too much
working on
attention to
mini
the
splits?
chat. My bad, people.
go ahead, Jason. Sorry.
Zane, have you been working on any mini splits? I just heard you
I
say
work on
Fujitsu, that's it.
I work on some mini splits. I feel like I've installed more than I've worked on. And half the time, if there's a problem with one, they're like, "Yeah, it's not cool and it's throwing an error code." I'm like, "I bet you I know what the issue is. You go outside with the leak detector on those flares." And
Oh, I thought you were
half,
going to say turn it off and wait.
yeah, I was gonna say turn it off for like 30 minutes and turn
That's
it back on.
Jason.
I know.
He turns
I
it off.
listened.
He turns
I
it off. He
listened to
goes
that
to the
podcast with
restroom.
Rachel. And I was like, yeah. No, I don't work on a lot of VRF. We install a bunch at my company. One of my friends that's a tech here at my company, he was actually out on a job today where they're doing a hotel and they're doing all cassettes in the ceiling. So he's doing all the piping and everything.
So, do you guys braze all that piping in, or what do you do?
I'm not 100% sure. I haven't been out on a lot of those like VRF jobs. I'm pretty sure they do a lot of brazing on them because
I was
they're doing like a 3-pipe system, like a splitter.
So yeah, I do some stuff with RLS, and they do a lot of stuff with the VRF system. They have the splitters and everything. So I was just curious if they went that route or not. So
I gotcha. Yeah, we don't use a lot of that down here. I don't think I've followed up behind anybody or seen anything recently with RLS. They try to advertise it a bunch at Johnstone, but I feel like more down here we're just old fashioned to brazing.
that's everywhere. Don't feel bad.
Yeah. The future is now though. Press it.
Oh yeah, I love it, man. It's a great product and it's fun. So
It's got to be a lot faster than trying to braze.
yeah, I mean, your pipe prep's still the same. You still got to ream, you still got to deburr, you still got to clean it. You got to watch out for is you got to make sure like the pipe's not etched or anything where you go to press it because that can be an issue. But I mean, it's a pretty cool system. I love it. I mean,
They rely on the. I'm sorry.
there's an O-ring in there, but it's actually a mechanical seal. So I've got some stuff I put out on Instagram where it shows like I got a 90-degree fitting, and it's actually cut away, and you can't tell where the two pieces of copper are different. It's that tight of a fitting. So, and it's a fully
Really?
circular press. It's not a hexagonal press or anything like that. It's a full circle. So it's pretty cool. I don't know what Rich is doing. He turned his camera and mic off. He was
So
laughing so hard he peed himself.
is that something common you see at your company a lot of the time? Is people using the RLS?
No, I'm the first guy to do it.
Okay. Start a movement.
I'm trying. It has a time and place, so you're always going to have to be able to braze. But a lot of
I'm
times,
back.
burn permits and stuff like that, it's just easier to do a press. Press in a couple joints and go about your business. So
Yeah. Here lately, I didn't like carrying around that big, like the Victor torch set. So I got one of those Ambro controls, the Oxy set. It's oxygen and propane.
the little bitty set, dude, I
Mhm.
seen that
Yeah,
at
that's okay.
AHR. There's
It's
this
so
little,
cute. It's tiny. It makes it a lot easier because, like, if I'm going into a hospital or something and I need to do some hot work and I got my permits and everything, then I just put it on top of. I have like a rolling pack out that I bring in a lot of the time, so
You
I
gotta
just
pull
put
a
it
perm.
right on top there.
Do you have to pull a permit every time, or do you just keep a permit on you?
We have to pull a permit every single time we do hot work in one of the hospitals.
Man,
Yeah,
I
the
wonder
first
what
time I
that's
used
like out
a
here.
press was doing a dishwasher in a hospital. It was actually like last month because they were like, you need a burn permit, or the maintenance was like, or we could just lend you our press kit. I'm like, yeah, we ain't pulling no burn permit. Give me that press kit. And then
so
I was like, if I was a man that steals, boy.
the very,
Yeah.
I had no
Stole
idea.
your heart.
I had no
Uh-huh.
idea a burn permit even existed. So I've told the story before, but we were installing combis, and like we installed like 5 double stacks of rationales in this hospital kitchen. We were on the last set, man, and we were on the last night. We'd been working nights, and I was just being a smart ass. And the GC was there, and I had the torch, and I was getting ready to to sweat in the drain. He's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, I got to sweat this drain in." He goes, "I thought you fabbed all those." I was like, "No, I fab them on the back, and when I get here, I run them because I'm not sure, exactly where it's going to go and everything." He's like, "Oh," he's like, "You got a burn permit?" And I was like, "What's a burn permit?" And I just lit the torch and it started sweating. And that dude ran over. He ran over and got a fire extinguisher. And he's like, "If you don't stop, I'm spraying you."
I would have kept going. I
Yo,
would have kept
yo, he
He
sounds like he
started
was
learning what a
serious.
burn permit was.
Dude was serious.
Oh, he was,
Yeah.
dude. He had a lazy eye and wore thick glasses, dude. It was bad.
Now, there's a lot of places down here we have to pull any factories we do work in. If we need to braze on top of the mall in my city, we got to pull a burn permit.
Yeah, I do
That's
not miss
crazy.
mall work, dude.
I'm not crazy about it. I've had to lug a 480 volt 3-phase compressor like halfway across ours and find out, like right before we put it in this old unit, it was a 208 3-phase compressor.
That's
And
the
then we
wrong
had to carry
compressor.
it back, yeah. And then we carried back the new one, and it was just me and another guy, and he's about my height, and like I'm 5'5", and I'm like a smaller dude. And me and him pulling that compressor across the entire roof was not a good time. We had to carry it all the way up the stairs, and then we put it on a dolly, and then just our roof for our mall also has rocks on it. It's not a flat roof. Yep, because it's that
Ooh.
old style, like,
Gas pipes everywhere.
yep. And then you have like the stairs going over, like electrical
Firewalls.
boxes, yeah, firewalls,
Oh,
everything.
TPO,
So we were
huh?
having to haul this compressor like over everything. It was terrible. It was dead of summer.
Oh man.
nice.
Mhm.
So we're coming up on an hour. We can keep going, but I try to keep it under an hour just for time constraints. I know you don't have an Instagram yet. If people want to find you, learn more about you, where can they find you though?
You guys can find me on Facebook. My name is Zane Smith on there. I live in Evansville, so there's that much information. That's how I got a hold of you.
Yeah.
That's really all I have right now. I'm trying to get my Instagram all set up because I'd like to start putting out content. for this
Yeah.
type of work. I just haven't had a lot of time here lately. So I have my own house and I've been remodeling it as well as working, and it
Nice.
has been awful.
So you get your stuff together, man. You sound like my son. My son's 21 years old. He works for me doing this stuff. He owns his own house, has his own truck. He's engaged.
That's
And it's
awesome.
just amazing what these young guys in these trades can accomplish, man. You know, his friends are still in college, wasting money, partying every night, you know, getting in trouble. And he likes to party a little bit, but he just does it on the weekend when he's not on call, so I can't complain.
Right.
He's
So,
doing his big boy thing. That's good.
yeah. Yeah,
He's
that's what
adulting.
he's got more money in the bank than I do, and I'm a little jealous, man.
I would have more if I wasn't, like I said, I'm remodeling this place. I've already had to redo a lot of my own plumbing. And the good thing about it is I don't live in the city, so they don't require the license. They just need the permit. So I'll just have to pull, like if I'm doing plumbing work, pull a plumbing permit for this address, and then that's it. I can do
Nice.
whatever plumbing I need. Yeah, it's
I
pretty
just
great.
do it. I just do it and don't say nothing.
Yeah. Well, whenever the whole house was galvanized, and now it's the expandable PEX from the last listing, the inspector's probably gonna be like, "Huh."
Nice. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on, Zane, talking about your journey into this, and it's always cool to see young people out here killing it. So keep a hold of us, man, and we're gonna follow along and see what you're up to next. So have a good night, everybody.
Good night,
Thanks.
y'all.
See ya.
Good night.
If you guys would, please consider subscribing, rating, and reviewing the podcast. It really helps us grow and helps us know which direction to move in. Also, if you have any suggestions for guests, please email me at commercialkitchenchronicles@gmail.com. Or if you want to be a guest, email me. Love to have you guys on. Thanks a lot. See you next week.